Cheating stories caught her with her lover in Miami. Her laughter wasn't for me anymore. It was for him on a call she thought I couldn't hear. I found their texts, her secrets spilling out, and my world cracked open. This is my cheating story. One that'll haunt you. If it grips your soul, like, comment, and subscribe to Viora for more tales that cut deep. I'm Seth Whitaker, 37, a financial planner running a small firm, Crestwood Wealth, in a leafy suburb of Raleigh, North Carolina. My life's not flashy mid-seven figures in assets, a comfortable nest egg from smart investments, but it's enough for a good life. My wife, Lucy Waverly. 34 is the spark in it all, with her bright blue eyes and quick wit. She's the kind of woman who lights up a room. She runs a boutique interior design business, turning homes into art. Our craftsman-style house is our haven, filled with her sketches and my vinyl collection. 7 years married, no kids yet, but we had plans: a beach house, maybe a dog, a future we'd sketched over late-night wine. I thought we were solid. I was wrong. Lucy's always been social, her calendar packed with client meetings and girls' nights. I loved that about her, her energy, her independence. But 6 months ago, something shifted. She'd come home later, her smile a little too bright, her phone glued to her hand. "Just work," she'd say. Dismissing my questions, her perfume changed something richer, not the citrus I'd gifted her. I'd ask everything okay, and she'd kiss my cheek, her eyes darting away. Doubt crept in, a quiet poison. I'd read cheating stories online, scoffed at the clueless husbands. I never thought I'd be one. The cracks widened 3 months ago. Lucy started planning a girls' trip to Miami with her best friends Rachel Bennett and Sophie Larson. They'd been our inner circle since college. Rachel, the bold lawyer, Sophie, the soft-spoken teacher. We'd hosted barbecues, game nights, their laughter filling our home. But this trip felt off. Lucy was cagey, her plans vague. "Just sun and cocktails," she said, but her eyes didn't meet mine. I nodded, wanting to trust her, but my gut screamed otherwise. The first twist came on a quiet Saturday. Lucy was in the shower, her phone on the kitchen counter buzzing. I glanced at it, not meaning to snoop, but the name on the screen stopped me cold. Curtis Franklin Curtis, a real estate broker we'd met at a charity gala last year, all charm and polished suits. Why was he texting my wife at 7 a.m.? I hesitated, then swiped her password. Was still our anniversary. The messages were a gut punch. "Can't wait to see you in Miami. That dress you wore last time. Damn asterisk," her reply. "You're trouble. I'll pack it asterisk." My hands shook the phone, slipping. Photos followed Lucy in a bar, Curtis's arm around her, her smile one I hadn't seen in months. I stood frozen, the shower's hum deafening. This wasn't a girls' trip. Lucy was cheating, and Rachel and Sophie were in on it. Their group chat filled with coded plans, asterisk. Make sure Seth doesn't suspect, asterisk. My friends, my family had betrayed me too. Rage burned, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. Revenge isn't a scream, it's a strategy. I took screenshots, emailed them to myself, and locked her phone. My heart a war zone. Lucy emerged, towel-wrapped, humming "Morning Babe," she said, kissing my cheek. I forced a smile, my voice steady. "Big day," she nodded, oblivious. "Client stuff, then drinks with the girls." Lies so easy for her. I played along. Pouring her coffee, my mind racing. Crestwood Wealth gave me resources, financial networks, discreet contacts. I'd use them to unravel her secrets. I hired a private investigator, Elena Voss, a pro who'd helped a client catch a shady partner, follow Lucy, Curtis, Rachel, and Sophie. I told her I need proof, not just texts. Elena's eyes were sharp. "This'll hurt, Seth. You ready?" I wasn't, but I nodded. At home, I kept up the act dinners with Lucy, her hand in mine, her lies a performance I pretended to believe. Each night I'd check her phone, the texts growing bolder. "Miami's gonna be our escape, baby. Asterisk." My stomach churned, but I stayed calm, building my case. Elena's first report came a week later. Photos of Lucy and Curtis at a Raleigh hotel, their hands linked, her laugh caught mid-frame. Rachel and Sophie were there too, laughing like conspirators. The hotel was booked under Curtis's company, Franklin Properties, a detail that stung. He was using his real estate clout to hide their affair. Elena's notes were brutal, asterisk. They meet twice a week. Rachel covers for her, asterisk. My friends, my wife a betrayal woven tight. The second twist hit when I dug into Curtis's finances. Crestwood's access let me trace his accounts. He'd funneled $50,000 into a shell company, payments labeled consulting, to Lucy's design firm. She wasn't just cheating. She was taking his money, blurring lines between affair and fraud. Was she in love or playing him? The question gnawed at me, but it didn't change my plan. I met my lawyer Daniel Pierce, a calm veteran who'd handled my firm's contracts. Prepare divorce papers, I said. And flag that shell company for the IRS? Daniel raised an eyebrow. You're playing hardball, Seth. I nodded. Hardball was all I had left. The third curveball came at a dinner with Rachel and Sophie. Lucy invited them over. Her smile bright oblivious to my knowledge. I watched them, their chatter too easy, their glances too careful. Sophie mentioned Miami, her voice faltering when I asked. Who's going? Lucy jumped in. Just us girls, I smiled, sipping my wine, my eyes on Rachel. She squirmed, her laugh forced. They thought I was clueless, but I was a step ahead. Elena's latest report in my inbox, Lucy and Curtis kissing in a car Rachel's SUV parked nearby. My friends were her accomplices, and I'd make them pay. I let Lucy plan her Miami trip, helping her pack, my voice warm. Have fun, I said, kissing her forehead. She smiled, her eyes soft, and I almost faltered. Almost, but the screenshots, the photos, her lies kept me steady. I booked a flight to Miami, same day, different airline. Elena tracked their resort, a luxury spot on South Beach. I packed light clothes, divorce papers, and a USB drive with every text, photo, and financial record. This wasn't just a cheating story. It was my reckoning, and I'd deliver it where it hurt most. The plane's hum was a steady pulse as I flew to Miami, the USB drive heavy in my pocket. Lucy's text to Curtis branded in my mind. Miami's gonna be our escape, baby, asterisk. Her smile as I'd kissed her goodbye haunted me, a mask of love hiding a cheating story that cut deeper each day. Rachel and Sophie's betrayal covering for her, laughing at my trust, fueled my resolve. I wasn't the clueless husband they thought I was. Seth Whitaker, and I'd turn their lies into a reckoning. The divorce papers tucked in my bag were my opening move, but I needed more than legalities. I needed them to feel the weight of their choices. I landed in Miami at dusk, the air thick with salt and heat. Elena had tracked Lucy's group to a South Beach resort, a glittering oasis of palm trees and infinity pools. I checked into a nearby hotel, a budget spot far from their luxury, my anonymity, my shield. Elena met me in the lobby, her laptop open, her voice low. They're in Suite 1204, she said, sliding me a keycard she'd charmed from a bellhop. Lucy and Curtis were at the pool bar an hour ago. Rachel and Sophie are with them, playing lookout. My jaw tightened. Anything new? She nodded, pulling up a photo. Lucy and Curtis' hands linked, boarding a private yacht yesterday. They're not subtle, Elena said, but Curtis is sloppy. His shell company's transactions are a mess. The IRS is already sniffing. I leaned back, the lobby's hum fading. Lucy wasn't just cheating, she was tangled in Curtis's financial games, her design firm a front for his $50,000 consulting payments. Was she a pawn or a player? The question burned, but it didn't change my plan. Keep tabs on them. I told Elena I want every move, every call. She nodded, her eyes sharp. You're walking a tightrope, Seth. Don't slip, I wouldn't. This wasn't rage, it was precision. The first twist came that night. I slipped into the resort, blending with the crowd, my baseball cap low. The pool area glowed, music pulsing. Lucy's laugh cutting through the noise. She was there in a red dress, Curtis's arm around her waist. Rachel and Sophie giggling nearby. My chest tightened, not from pain, but from clarity. They thought they were untouchable, their betrayal a private joke. I snapped photos from a distance, my phone hidden, each click a brick in my case. Then I saw something that stopped me cold. A man in a dark suit watching them from a balcony, his phone to his ear. Elena's text came seconds later. That's Victor Reese, Curtis's business partner, shady guy tied to offshore accounts. He's not here for fun. Asterisk. My pulse quickened. Curtis wasn't just a cheater. He was neck deep in something bigger, and Lucy was in the crosshairs. I retreated, my mind racing. Crestwood Wealth gave me access to financial networks, and I used them, pulling Victor's records. His company tied to Curtis's shell had funneled millions through fake real estate deals. Lucy's payments were a drop in the bucket, but her name was on the contracts. She wasn't just cheating, she was complicit, knowingly or not. The realization didn't soften me, it hardened my resolve. I spent the next day shadowing them. Elena's updates, my guide Lucy and Curtis were inseparable. Lunch at a beachfront cafe, a shopping spree. Her hand in his, Rachel and Sophie tagged along, their laughter a mockery of our friendship. I stayed invisible, my anger a quiet fire. Elena hacked Curtis's email, sending me a goldmine messages to Victor about cleaning the books before a deal closed. One email mentioned Lucy. She's useful, But if she talks, we're done asterisk. My stomach churned. Lucy wasn't just a lover, she was a liability. And Curtis was ready to cut her loose. The second twist hit that evening. I was in my hotel reviewing Elena's footage when my phone buzzed a text from Sophie asterisk Seth. We need to talk, I'm in Miami. Meet me at the pier, 10 p.m. asterisk. My blood ran cold. Sophie, the quiet one, the one I'd trusted most after Lucy. Was this a trap? I called Elena, who traced Sophie's phone to a bar near the resort. She's alone. Elena said, no Curtis, no Lucy, could be legit. I didn't trust it, but I went the USB drive in my pocket, a recorder in my jacket. The pier was dark, waves crashing below. Sophie stood under a streetlight, her face pale, her hands twisting. Seth, she said, her voice shaking. I'm so sorry, I didn't want this. I kept my distance, my voice steel. You covered for her. You laughed while she cheated. She flinched, tears welling. Lucy begged us to keep it quiet. She said it was a fling, that she'd end it. But Curtis, he's dangerous. He's using her. Seth, those payments to her firm, they're not for design. They're for laundering money. My jaw clenched. Why tell me now? She looked away, her voice barely audible. Because I saw Victor watching her. He's not here for a vacation. He's cleaning up loose ends. Sophie's confession was a bombshell, but I didn't trust her fully. She'd betrayed me once her tears could be an act. Prove it, I said, handing her a burner phone. Get me evidence, she nodded, slipping it into her purse. I'll try. But Seth, Lucy's scared. She knows she's in too deep. I didn't care about Lucy's fear. She'd chosen Curtis. Chosen lies. I walked away, the pier's shadows swallowing Sophie's sobs. The game had shifted. Curtis wasn't just a lover, he was a criminal, and Lucy was his shield. The third twist came the next morning. Elena sent a video from the resort's security feed, Lucy and Curtis arguing by the pool, her voice sharp, his hands grabbing her arm. You promised this wouldn't touch Seth, she hissed. Curtis's reply was cold. You're in this, Lucy. No backing out. She yanked away, her face pale, and stormed off. Rachel watched, her expression uneasy but didn't follow. My heart didn't soften. It hardened. Lucy might be scared, but she'd built this cage and I wasn't her savior. I dug deeper, cross-referencing Victor's deals with Lucy's firm. The $50,000 was pocket change. Victor's network had moved $10 million through shell companies. Lucy's signatures on half the contracts. She wasn't a victim. She was a partner profiting from Curtis's crimes. I forwarded the evidence to Daniel, my lawyer, with a note asterisk. Tip the feds anonymously asterisk. Daniel called, his voice tense. This could bring down Franklin Properties, maybe more. You sure about this, Seth? I was. Lucy's affair was personal, but her fraud was a crime and I'd let the law handle it. The confrontation was coming, but I needed the perfect moment. Elena tracked their plans, a private dinner at the resort's rooftop restaurant. Lucy, Curtis, Rachel, and Sophie, a celebration of their escape. I prepared my move, the divorce papers in a manila envelope, the USB drive backed up on a secure server. I'd confront them publicly where their lies couldn't hide. But Sophie's warning about Victor lingered. Was he a threat or a distraction? I told Elena to watch him, her drone capturing his movements, meetings in back rooms, calls in alleys. He was circling a shark, smelling blood. The night before the dinner, I met Daniel at a Miami cafe far from the resort. He slid me a folder, divorce papers, asset splits, and a whistleblower report for the IRS. You're set, he said. But Seth, this will destroy Lucy. You ready for that? I looked at the ocean, its waves restless, and nodded. She destroyed us first. Daniel didn't argue. I left the folder under my arm, the city's pulse matching mine. Lucy thought Miami was her freedom. She was about to learn it was her trap. The fourth twist came hours later. Sophie texted the burner phone asterisk. Found something. Curtis's laptop files on Lucy. He's setting her up to take the fall. Asterisk attached was a screenshot. An email from Curtis to Victor asterisk. If the feds come, she's the scapegoat. Her signature's not mine. Asterisk, my blood boiled. Curtis wasn't just cheating. He was framing my wife, and she was too blind to see it. I didn't pity her, but the game had changed. I'd expose them all, but I'd do it my way. Clean, sharp, and final. I stood on my hotel balcony, Miami's lights sprawling below the envelope in my hand. Tomorrow I'd walk into their dinner, lay out the truth, and watch their world collapse. Lucy's laugh. Curtis's smirk. Rachel's lies, they built this. I'd tear it down. This cheating story wasn't just about betrayal. It was about justice, and I was ready to deliver. The Miami night was thick with humidity. The resort's rooftop restaurant aglow with string lights and clinking glasses. I stood at the edge of the terrace, the manila envelope in my hand, the divorce papers inside a guillotine for Lucy's lies below the ocean, churned mirroring the storm in my chest. Sophie's screenshot burned in my mind. Curtis's email to Victor framing Lucy as the fall guy for their fraud. She wasn't innocent, her signatures on those contracts as damning as her text to Curtis. But she was a pawn in a bigger game. This wasn't just a cheating wife story anymore. It was a chessboard, and I was about to checkmate them all. Lucy, Curtis, Rachel, and even Victor Reese. I adjusted my tie, the USB drive secure in my pocket, Elena's drone feed streaming to my phone. Lucy sat at a corner table, radiant in a white dress. Curtis's hand on her knee. Rachel laughed too loudly. Sophie's smile strained her eyes, darting to the entrance. She knew I was coming. Her text last night had begged me to wait, but I was done waiting. 7 years of love, trust, and dreams shattered by Lucy's affair and her friend's complicity. I'd expose them here publicly where their lies couldn't hide. The first twist came as I approached Victor Reese was at the bar, his dark suit blending with the shadows, his eyes locked on Lucy's table. Elena's warning echoed. He's cleaning up loose ends, asterisk. My pulse quickened. Victor wasn't just Curtis's partner. He was a predator, and Lucy was prey. I hesitated, my plan shifting. Confronting them now might tip Victor off, letting him slip away. I texted Elena asterisk. Track Victor. If he moves, follow asterisk. Her reply was instant asterisk on it. Be careful. Asterisk. I slipped into a booth, my cap low, watching Lucy laugh, oblivious to the danger circling her. The dinner unfolded, their voices carrying Curtis toasted to new beginnings, his smirk a blade to my gut. Rachel clinked glasses. Sophie's hand trembling. I snapped photos, my phone hidden each frame, a nail in their coffin. Then Sophie stood excusing herself and headed for the restroom. My burner phone buzzed. Asterisk. Meet me in the hall. Now asterisk. I followed, my heart pounding, the envelope heavy in my hand. In the dim hallway, Sophie's face was pale, her voice a whisper. Seth. You can't do this here, Victor's watching. He knows you're digging. I narrowed my eyes. You're still protecting her. She shook her head, tears welling. No, I'm protecting you. Curtis told Victor, you're a threat. Those financial records you pulled, they know my blood ran cold. Victor wasn't just after Lucy. He was after me, my firm, my life. Sophie handed me a flash drive from Curtis's laptop. Proof, he framed Lucy. Use it, but not tonight. Please, I pocketed it, my voice steel. Go back to your dinner, Sophie. You're not off the hook. She nodded, slipping away, her footsteps soft against the marble. The second twist hit as I returned to the terrace. Elena's text flashed. Victor's on the move. Meeting someone in the parking garage asterisk. I glanced at Lucy's table. Curtis was gone, his seat empty. My gut twisted. Were they closing ranks? I signaled a waiter, slipping him a note for Lucy asterisk. Meet me by the pool, 10 minutes. We need to talk asterisk. I didn't sign it, but she'd know I needed her away from Victor, from Curtis, to deliver the truth where it hurt most. The pool area was quiet, its turquoise glow eerie in the dark. I stood by a cabana, the envelope in hand, my recorder on. Lucy appeared, her dress shimmering, her face a mix of confusion and fear. Seth, she gasped, stopping short. What are you doing here? I stepped forward, my voice low, steady. I know about Curtis, the texts, the hotel, the money. I know everything. Her eyes widened, her hands trembling. It's not what you think, she stammered. I tossed the envelope at her feet. Papers spilling, divorce filings, screenshots, bank records. Don't lie, Lucy. You cheated. Rachel and Sophie helped in Curtis. He's using you to cover his fraud. She sank to her knees, sobbing, the papers crumpling under her. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. Curtis was a mistake. I got caught up. I laughed cold and sharp. Caught up? You signed contracts, Lucy. You laundered his money. Her face drained of color, her voice breaking. I didn't know it was fraud. He said it was for his business. I didn't buy it. You chose him over me. Every day you chose him. She reached for me, but I stepped back. You're done. Lucy so's Curtis. Curtis's voice cut through the night. Back off, Seth. He stormed toward us, his fists clenched, Rachel and Sophie trailing, their faces pale. I stood my ground, my recorder capturing every word. Tell her, Curtis, I said. Tell her how you plan to frame her for your crimes. His eyes flickered, his swagger. Faltering, Lucy turned, her voice shaking. What's he talking about? Curtis grabbed her arm, his voice low. He's lying, babe. Let's go. I stepped closer, my voice ablaze. The flash drive. Curtis, your emails to Victor. She's your scapegoat. The third twist exploded. Victor appeared, his suit crisp, his eyes cold. Enough, he said, his voice slicing the air. Whitaker, you're out of your depth. My heart raced, but I didn't flinch. Am I? The feds have your records. Victor offshore accounts, fake deals. You're done. His smile was thin. Dangerous, bold move, but Lucy's signatures are on those deals. She falls first. Lucy gasped, pulling away from Curtis. You lied to me, she whispered, her voice raw. Curtis lunged at me, his fist swinging, but I dodged my own punch, connecting with his jaw. He stumbled, crashing into a lounge chair, the pool's glow illuminating his shock. Rachel screamed. Sophie froze, and resort staff rushed in, radios crackling. I tossed the USB drive to a security guard, my voice calm. Give this to the police. It's evidence of fraud. Lucy sobbed, her dress stained with pool water, her world collapsing. Victor slipped away, his shadow vanishing into the crowd, but Elena's drone was on him. I'd made sure of that. I looked at Lucy, her eyes pleading, but I felt nothing. You did this, I said, turning away. The staff held Curtis, Rachel, and Sophie huddled, their betrayal exposed to strangers' stares. The fallout was swift. The feds raided Franklin Properties. Curtis arrested for fraud, his empire crumbling. Victor disappeared, but Elena's tip ensured he wouldn't run far. Lucy's design firm tanked, her name tied to the scandal, her clients fleeing. Rachel and Sophie faced their own reckoning. Rachel's law firm sidelined her. Sophie's school board questioned her ethics. I filed for divorce. My assets secure, Crestwood wealth untouched. The press caught wind. Asterisk, financial planner exposes wife's affair, topples fraud ring. Asterisk. I didn't seek the spotlight, but it found me, my pain a headline. Lucy called, once her voice broken. Seth, I'm sorry I was stupid. I hung up her words too late. She moved to her parents. Diane and Thomas Waverly, their support grudging. I sold our house, the memories too heavy, and bought a condo downtown, a fresh start. My firm grew, new clients drawn to my story, a man who'd turned betrayal into justice. I didn't hate Lucy, not anymore. I pitied her, a woman who'd traded love for lies, now living with the consequences. Months later, I saw her at a coffee shop, her face gaunt, her eyes avoiding mine. She was with her mother, her laughter gone, a shadow of the woman I'd loved. I didn't approach. I'd moved on, not to another woman, but to a life I controlled. The USB drive, the papers, the punch, they weren't vengeance. They were survival. But as I walked away, her silhouette in the window, a question lingered, sharp as the morning light. Did I break her too harshly? Or was her ruin the justice she deserved? What would you have done in my place? Share your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe to Viora for more stories that tear at your heart and spark debate. You won't want to miss what's next.